So why did Hades feel so different than every other roguelike at the time? You fight, you lose, you restart, that's the genre. That's always been the genre. But in Hades, even when you fail, you still move forward. Not just because you're getting better at the game, but in its story and its progression systems. So what is it about that combination that made Hades the game that almost every other roguelike gets compared to? I'm Wiggs, and welcome to the Warp Zone. Let's get into it. Now Hades wasn't the first roguelike to have a story, but what made Hades feel different was how it made failure a part of that story. Every character in the underworld remembers you, your attempts, your losses, and your wins. Take Meg for example. She's the first boss, and as you fight her over and over, she remembers each fight and goes from telling you to give up when she wins, boasting about how next time won't be the same when she loses, to being humbled and eventually having her sisters take her place. So as you do more runs, you actually see Meg's confidence dwindle as she comes to the realization that she's probably going to lose to you more in future fights. And you see her deal with the fact that Hades has lost confidence in her, so he's called upon her sisters to step in and do what she can't. In other roguelikes, failure would just start you back at the beginning. But in Hades, failure isn't an obstacle, it's a plot point. Even after completing your first escape run, the story isn't over. Zagreus reaches the surface only to find out he can't stay, so you escape again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. 10 escapes, and you complete the main story. I think most roguelikes don't attempt this kind of storytelling for two reasons. A setting where it makes sense is niche, and more importantly, it's an ambitious idea. But Hades commits to it completely. The amount of dialogue supporting the system is ridiculous. I've played about 20 hours in this game and haven't had a single conversation repeat. That's part of what makes this game feel so different to other roguelikes. Every failed attempt moves a relationship forward, unlocks new dialogue, or reveals more about the world. The story isn't just waiting at the end of a successful run, it's happening the entire time. So the story isn't the only thing that carries over between your runs. While most roguelikes have some form of permanent upgrade systems, Hades layers multiple systems on top of each other in a way that makes almost every run feel worthwhile. During your escape attempts, you're going to collect resources used to make Zagreus stronger, unlock new weapons, upgrade those weapons, and receive keepsakes from NPCs. A failed run might not actually get you closer to escaping, but it could earn you enough darkness for a new mirror upgrade, enough keys to unlock new weapons, or nectar to strengthen relationships and receive new keepsakes. Very rarely does a run feel completely wasted because you're almost always working towards something. At the same time, Hades never locks you into your decisions. You can experiment with different upgrades, reset choices, try new approaches, without feeling punished for making a wrong decision. That freedom encourages experimentation, and with the game's many progression systems, it creates a constant feeling of forward momentum. What's especially impressive is that despite all of the permanent upgrades, the game never feels like you become overpowered. The upgrades make you stronger, but they don't remove the challenge. Success comes down to understanding your build, reacting to enemies, and improving as a player. Just like the story progression, the upgrade systems in Hades make failure feel productive. Even when a run ends early, you're still moving forward. Now of course, none of the storytelling or upgrades would matter if the gameplay itself wasn't fun. And in a genre that repeatedly puts you through the same levels time and again, Hades brings a level of variety through its weapons and its boon system that constantly changes how you play and how each run feels. There are 6 weapons that all have different strengths and weaknesses, but what really keeps things fresh is how the gods' boons transform them from run to run. When I got my first clear with the fists, I got a boon that changed my special attack into more of a Hadoken, and from there I was prioritizing anything that upgraded special damage and critical hits. Every run I had prior to this had me getting up close and throwing hands. The boons are completely randomized, so you need to be adaptable even if you're playing with your favorite weapon. Some runs you might get to deflect ranged attacks back at enemies thanks to Athena, or you might have to rely on dot effects thanks to Dionysus. Using the Fist's standard attack, Dionysus's boons can be great because you're throwing these fast multi-hit combos, so you're stacking dots quickly. But if you pair them with this Hadoken build that I had, then that synergy falls apart. Because now you're not throwing a flurry of blows anymore, you're committing to one big hit, so these dots never really stack or reach their full potential. That's what makes the repetition work in this game. The weapons and the boons ensure that new attempts feel just a little bit different than the last one. The progression is what keeps you coming back, but the variety is what stops these repeated runs from feeling like a grind. So Hades wasn't the first roguelike to have a story, permanent progression, or build variety, but what it did was combine all of these ideas in a way that made every run feel meaningful. And that's why Hades feels so different. Not because it invented these ideas, but because it brought them together so well. The result isn't just a masterpiece of a roguelike, it's a masterpiece of a game. What do you think? Is there something in this game that stands out to you that I missed? Or is there another roguelike that you think is even better than Hades that I should check out? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.